Haas is leaving Ford for Chevy, Rodney Childers wants another crew chief job, and Michael McDowell keeps talking about Shane Van Gisbergen. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Group, presented by Tableau TV. Voice still a little scratchy today, but can't take a sick day. Too much to talk about, beginning with Haas factory team. Time is a flat circle. Haas will rejoin Chevrolet next year, will form a new technical alliance with Hendrick Motorsports. What is this, 2009? A few bullet points from today's announcement. This includes both their Cup Series entry and their two Xfinity, soon-to-be O'Reilly Auto Parts entries. The team will use Hendrick Chevy engines next year, and the driver lineup, Custer, Cred, and Mayer, will stay the same. Joe Custer, Haas factory team president, said on SiriusXM today, quote, "We're trying to evolve from a large organization mindset to a nimbler, smaller organization that takes advantage of its strengths. Gene Haas, he's a patient man, but he demands improvement. Make no mistake." Like I said, this is not the first time that Haas has teamed up with Chevrolet, aligned themselves with Hendrick. They won 2 championships together back in 2011 and 2014. There's a lot to talk about here. First, this essentially guts Ford's Xfinity Series pipeline. Ryan Sieg's team has had a close relationship with Haas the past few years. Could they stay with Ford, or will they be forced to change manufacturers as well? If they do, Ford is left with AM Racing in the Xfinity Series, and that's it. Unless some other teams were to change OEMs or re-enter the Xfinity Series. There have been some rumors, some rumblings, but nothing has been announced as of yet. Secondly, how good can Haas factory team be next year with this Chevy-Hendrick relationship? Cole Custer, 27 years old, is staying in that seat. Cole Custer is one of the biggest unknowns in the NASCAR Cup Series today, in my opinion. He can obviously drive. Go back to his first stint in the Xfinity Series in the late 2010s. He won races every year. In 2019, he won 7 Xfinity races, was in the championship for part of that great battle with Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell. Great company to be a part of. He was ready to move to Cup, but once he did, he struggled. Now, granted, Custer entered the Cup Series during the pandemic, post-pandemic, when there was little to no on-track practice time, tough for a young driver to develop. And to Custer's credit, he did swoop in late to win that 550 horsepower race at Kentucky his rookie year. So he had a moment, but the rest of his Cup Series career, it was a struggle. Mid-20s in points, 20th place average finish. He was usually the 4th guy at Stewart-Haas. Harvick was still winning races. Chase Briscoe made that one deep playoff run. So in 2023, Cole Custer goes back to the Xfinity Series and immediately finds his groove once again. He won 5 races over the last 2 years, was in the championship for both seasons, won the Xfinity Series title in 2023. And now he's back in the Cup Series, but with a team that's on shaky ground. I just don't know what to make of Cole Custer. He can obviously drive. Sure, his dad runs the team, so he's gotten good opportunities, but he's proven his worth, especially in Xfinity. Looking ahead to next year, there's another single car team that runs Hendrick Chevy engines. That's Hayek Motorsports, the 47 car driven by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Right now, that team is 29th in points, but they're actually having kind of a down year. Usually they're in the 20 to 25th range. I think that range is realistic for Cole Custer and Haas factory team next year. I don't expect Cole Custer to contend for a playoff spot unless he wins a super speedway race, which he's come close a couple times this season. But at a minimum, I expect Haas factory team to be a little better than they've been this season. So that's the Cup side of things. Finally, I want to talk about the 2 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series drivers. Sheldon Creed staying with the team. This will be his 4th different manufacturer in 4 consecutive seasons. Sheldon Creed's a wheelman. Tons of raw talent, but I've said it before, been proven right thus far. I don't consider him a top Cup Series prospect. He's 28 years old, has been in top Xfinity equipment for over 3 years now, and is still winless. He's had his moments, like Darlington last year was maybe the best race he's ever run, beat some Cup guys straight up, and then cautions, circumstances, he lost that one. He's a good driver, but he's had so many opportunities to break through, and he hasn't done it. He's getting outrun this year by his 22-year-old teammate, Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer is only 22 years old. I couldn't believe that when I looked it up. It feels like he's been around a while. Sam Mayer rejoins Chevrolet for next year. He used to be a Chevy development driver, won races in ARCA, trucks. He won, I think, 7 races combined his last 2 seasons with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series. Consistency has always been the concern for Sam Mayer. Like last year, he won 3 races but had an 18th place average finish. This year, the narrative has changed. He does have 1 win, but he has a 9.6 average finish this year with Haas. Development. That's what I've seen this year from Sam Mayer. A couple of years ago, he learned how to win, learned how to finish races. Now he's learning how to take what the car gives him. He's in the mix, top 5, top 10 every single week, a dark horse championship threat. He's staying with Haas next year, but back in the Chevy system. We'll see how that relationship works out. Sam Mayer, only 22 years old, I think still has a long, potentially bright future ahead of him. I hope to see him keep developing because his opportunity will come. Noah Gragson, Riley Herbst had to wait a few years before they got Cup Series deals. Sometimes it's all about timing. I know Sam Mayer is kind of similar in age. He's kind of in the same class as a Ty Gibbs, a Carson Hocevar, and they've passed him up, obviously. They're in the Cup Series. Not everyone develops at the same rate, and sometimes the timing just works out differently. If Sam Mayer continues to be patient, continues to show improvement year after year like I think he's been doing, then his opportunity will come sooner rather than later. He's 22. There's no reason to rush him in my eyes. Haas factory team with a huge announcement this Friday. Moving on, I already planned to bring up this next subject, but it actually fits in really nicely now with today's Haas factory team deal. Rodney Childers is one of the most successful Cup Series crew chiefs of the modern era. He began this year with Spire Motorsports, but just 9 weeks into the season, Spire and Childers agreed to go their separate ways. Over the past few months, Childers has done some late model racing here and there, but no NASCAR organization has scooped him up full time. Rodney took to social media this week responding to a fan and said, quote, "I miss competing. Yes, every single day. I miss being a leader like I was good at. I know I can still do it better than most, and I'm more determined now than ever. But if no one is willing to take a chance in the Cup Garage, I'll win in whatever I do." He has a plan. If you follow Rodney on social media, this isn't the first post like this he's made. All summer long, he's been pitching himself, essentially. The dude wants another NASCAR Cup Series crew chief opportunity and clearly believes he can do it well. In his heyday with Stewart Haas Racing and Kevin Harvick, Rodney Childers won 35 Cup races in a 7-year span between 2014 and 2020, including the 2014 Cup Series Championship. Dude was unbelievable. But the industry changed. 2021, they made some rule changes, and whatever advantage Rodney Childers had found was gone because Harvick went winless that season. And then the next gen era, the entire workflow, the data, everything at the shop changed. Stewart Haas as a whole was struggling those last few years, but it was clear that Rodney Childers no longer seemed to be the difference maker he once was. Spire Motorsports gave him a shot this year, but again, just 9 weeks into the season, they approached him about a split. I think Rodney Childers absolutely could still contribute to a top NASCAR Cup Series team, and that's why this kind of fits with this Haas-Chevy news. Is there a world where a Haas-Rodney Childers reunion is even possible, or did the end of the Stewart Haas tenure leave that bad a taste in everyone's mouth? I don't know. I think Rodney Childers could absolutely contribute to a smaller team like a Haas factory team that's going through this transition. Obviously, Rodney's had success working with a Hendrick Alliance before, but I also look at Rodney Childers like this. I think the Spire Motorsports split was telling. Not to make a stick and ball sport comparison, but I will because I like doing that from time to time. Rodney Childers to me is like the NASCAR version of Bill Belichick. Not quite as successful as Bill Belichick was, but like both were legendary, coach, crew chief, won a lot of games, won a lot of races, difference makers. But in both cases, their sports evolved over time, and it felt like both guys maybe lost their edge. Bill Belichick leaves the Patriots and couldn't find another NFL job. I think he got like one interview with one team, obviously didn't get the gig. Rodney Childers leaves Stewart Haas, and I guess you can consider those 9 weeks with Spire his one interview that obviously didn't go very well. And I think both guys have a reputation for doing things their way. Maybe can be a little stubborn. We hear all the time now how important it is for teams within an organization to share data, to bounce ideas back and forth. The sport has evolved. Teams aren't building and fabricating their own parts and pieces anymore. And that might be where Rodney Childers used to do his best work. So it's unfortunate. I think Rodney Childers could still contribute to just about any team in the NASCAR Cup Series. But in the next-gen era, is Rodney as effective as he was 10 years ago? Maybe not. Clearly, the NASCAR Cup Series garage is at least a little wary. Childers obviously wants another Cup Series opportunity. We'll see this offseason if someone gives it to him. A team like Haas that's building themselves up on paper seems like a good fit, but there might be bad memories there after how Stewart Haas dissolved. Anyway, we'll wrap up with something completely off topic. Michael McDowell is a really good road course racer. He's won in open wheel, he's won in sports cars, he's won in NASCAR. But lately, the spotlight has been on Australian supercars legend Shane Van Gisbergen, who's come to the Cup Series and won 4 of the first 5 road course races his rookie season. Remember, a few months back, Michael McDowell in the media said that Shane Van Gisbergen is not unbeatable. And then remember, McDowell put together a great run at the Chicago street race, led the first 30 laps before car trouble knocked him from the race. Well, in that race, NASCAR uploaded, their weekly radioactive montage. I was watching this video the other day and came across this clip from SVG's radio from the Chicago street race, where he criticized McDowell's performance.
I'm just stuck. Just how good. He's useless. He just keeps missing apexes and making mistakes.
Now, this back and forth has a new chapter. Michael McDowell did an interview with the San Diego Union Tribune promoting next year's naval-based Coronado street race and was asked about Shane Van Gisbergen's road course dominance and again offered kind of a blunt response. McDowell said, quote, "What SVG is doing right now is incredible, but he's not Superman. He's pushing all of us to be better. He's pushing everyone to make some adjustments, and it will happen. It's just a matter of time." Well, it is taking a lot of time, and he's not Superman. I don't know what you call an 18-second lead at Mexico City. In all seriousness, though, I like this. I like that Michael McDowell, veteran driver, has this competitive edge. He's not going to let himself be overwhelmed by Shane Van Gisbergen's road course greatness. No, he views that as a challenge. The carrot dangling from a stick. I love that. I love that Michael McDowell is taking this so seriously. But if Michael McDowell is going to do all this talking, it'd be nice for him to beat Shane Van Gisbergen just once. Hasn't happened this year. He's saying all this stuff and he's down like 10-0. Just look at laps led on road and street courses this season. Shane Van Gisbergen blowing everybody out. I mean, Michael McDowell's third. He's in the mix. He's been one of the best of the rest, but nobody's in SVG's zip code. They're not on the same continent as Van Gisbergen. I love that Michael McDowell is taking this seriously, is treating this like a rivalry to motivate himself. I love it. But it's not really a rivalry just yet. It's kind of one-sided so far. When Michael McDowell starts to catch up, I should say if McDowell starts to catch up and match SVG wheel to wheel, week to week, then it may be a fantastic rivalry. But for now, it's a lot of words, I guess. I want to see the performance on track back those words up. More runs like the Chicago street race, and we may have ourselves a legitimate road course rivalry. Anyway, thought those comments were interesting. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR news, reactions, commentary, and so much more every single day, every single week. Really appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your week, y'all. I will see you Sunday night after Gateway. Hope it's a good one. Hope y'all enjoy. I'll see you again soon.